Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast presents episode 811, a match made on Xbox 360. Recorded live on February 3rd, 2022. Hello everyone, welcome to Podtacular, the unofficial Halo Universe podcast. I am one of your co-hosts, Duststorm.
I'm your co-host, Godzilla T.
And I'm Haas.
And it is another week of potential bug fixes for Infinite. We'll see. Just came out a few hours ago.
Potential,
I haven't had a chance to play.
Air quotes.
Exactly. We've also got the new Halo Infinite official TV trailer. Which we can talk
Which
about.
Which looks awesome.
It looks awesome. I have some questions about the story that's being implied, but we'll get to that in a little bit. And then we've also got the upcoming North American HCS finals next weekend as well, and there's a post about that on Waypoint. Nothing else much, really. Depending on how long we talk about things, we'll dive into our little Halo 360s recap that we were going to do last week and didn't,
and the week before.
Tangents. And the week before because tangents. But first things first, let's do our little Podtacular community update, starting with GT. How'd we do with Fragging Friday last week?
We had a lot of fun. We actually played some Infinite. It was a tie vote, so I flipped a coin and it was Infinite. We had a lot of fun. I think we did try BTB once, but it didn't work. So we split into two lobbies.
Yeah.
I did try BTB earlier in the night and it glitched out once and then I was able to get a game, but yeah, it wasn't working at all. Or it wasn't working well. So hopefully this weekend or tomorrow we can play some Infinite BTB.
Yay.
Yay.
That'll be great. And I hope to be there. I don't see any reason why I shouldn't be. So hopefully I'll be on with you all to play some big team on Infinite, because it's been, about a month since it's been working, right? At this point?
Well, pretty much ever since the game officially launched.
Right. Yeah.
The random fact, last night I actually got another achievement in Infinite. I marked 3 or more players in matchmaking.
Oh, at once?
Totally by accident. Yeah.
There you go.
Well, I forget about the marking function in Infinite. Mm-hmm. So I, instead of, teaching myself to push up on the D-pad, I mapped that button to one of my thumbsticks. So now every time I pull the trigger, I wind up marking something. Because unfortunately, when I pull the trigger, I squeeze my thumb too. So you're
I'm
sorry
taking
for people that play with me. You're going to get a lot of marks from me. And they may not
screw the
anything.
clinch protection, and you're just going to mark everything, pretty much.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, why not go all out?
There you go. Yeah. Well, cool. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. For those that want to participate, vote in the Discord. That's where we have the community poll for what we're going to be playing. For Achieving Halo, Bobby and I worked on some more attrition challenges. And between Sunday and actually Monday and Tuesday, I managed to get through level 9 of the Cyber Showdown Battle Pass thing. So I didn't get the nice neon spikes, but I got everything else. And I'm at level 18 in the normal Battle Pass now.
Yeah, I'm at level 65.
So, yeah, I'm actually making some decent progress now that I'm actually playing again. So that's
I took a month off and I'm still 50 levels ahead of you.
Yeah. Yes, you are. I will say something about the marking system, though. We actually had a few good teams that we matched up with when we were doing the attrition stuff. And the marks came in really handy for some of those clutch games.
Yeah.
even for games that we lost, like where they got pretty close and we were actually like almost doing kind of the Counter-Strike where you're kind of backed up against the corner and you're waiting for them to make the wrong move type thing. So
Yeah.
it comes in clutch when you can use it well. So I appreciate that implementation in Infinite. It's really nice.
Just so everybody knows, is I don't use it well, so just ignore me.
Hey, you got the mark of 3, so there you go. Haas, did you happen to hop on to any Halo over the last week, or are you still taking your hiatus?
I played 3 matches. I finished the Cyberpunk event or whatever it was called.
Cyber Showdown.
And then I did 1 match of Fiesta this week to get closer to completing that. But
cool.
I kind of finished it and I was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
So
makes sense.
I might hop on some BTB next week, and hopefully what we're seeing early reports that this update has finally repaired that, and that could be
Repaired
fun.
what they broke?
Yeah.
Exactly. And to follow up on kind of your ask last week about attrition being sweaty or not,
It's
definitely sweaty for a fair amount of it, but there were some games where like there were other people communicating and it, like the communication helped it actually make it not feel as sweaty. Like it was still difficult in some cases, but where there were actual team members chatting, it made it more enjoyable actually. So the few games that we actually had other people communicating with us and using microphones, it was actually pretty nice. I'd say maybe a third of the games were kind of nice, and then everything else just felt like getting just completely dominated.
Yeah, I don't even have a microphone hooked up to my Xbox anymore. I don't. I pretty much just insta-mute everybody because I get tired of listening to them.
Well, Bobby and I actually found a really good duo who were communicating really well, and we actually really enjoyed playing with them.
That's good. I'm glad you did.
I know there, for all the times that you get just annoying folks. Well, yeah, Bobby, you couldn't hear them. I could though, and they were having some really good call outs. There are some people out there that really do mean well for having mics in, and I mean, I think I should probably do better with.
I just wish I could find some of them.
Have to put up with a lot of riffraff to find some of the diamonds in the rough, so to speak.
Yeah, I either get people that don't have mics, or I get people that shouldn't have mics. Those are the 2 options I usually get.
Or people using their Kinect, and you can hear everything that's going on in their living room or their house. Anyways, I digress.
Even that, I don't mind that. It's the people that just want to be a bully. Oh, you shouldn't be playing Halo. Screw you. You shouldn't be playing Halo either. You shouldn't reproduce either. I've lost patience with that.
All we can do is hope people will be better.
Yeah.
Anyways, so big team battle hopefully this weekend. We'll see. GT being savage tonight. Nice pens. We'll going over to our Discord and the community. We have a couple of shared videos from Jarvo. I think that's how you say this person's name. Sent a couple of clips in. First one is him on Behemoth getting a backsmack on someone kind of a ninja, more or less, on one of the sniper towers. And then another video clip of him going on an overkill with the Needler of all weapons.
Nice.
Nice to see that it's still a viable weapon. And then he also posted a little clip in the Tales from the Foxhole channel saying, "Who are you?" And this kind of a riff off of the Cortana in the TV trailer is not anything close to the Cortana in the games, which for everyone that's out there complaining that it's not the same, yeah, that's kind of the point. It's not supposed to be the same.
Well, I was kind of hoping for a little
Cortana.
bit. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more blue and a little less solid. But
I would agree with that. But as far as the like character itself. It's
I'm
portrayed by a different person.
Yeah, I'm not knocking the character at all. I mean, what they did with Cortana looks really good. I just was I was expecting something more hologramish in nature.
Yeah.
Like less solid.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think they would.
But, this is
a little VFX
this is
cleanup on that.
Yeah, this is someone else's interpretation of the Halo universe. And they've made some very specific changes because it is a TV show.
Yep.
That's why they introduced the entire Silver timeline. It's
going to be
complements the core. It complements the core. Lost the word. Canon.
Mm-hmm.
But it's intended not to interfere with the core canon.
Right.
So, I give, and people have heard this many times, the animated series Fall of Reach, I give it a lot of crap. But the stuff that I give it crap for is stuff that they didn't need to change. I understand that it's a different format than a game or a book, and rarely do books translate directly to the screen. But just some of the simplest facts are, there was no reason to change it. And to me, it detracted from the story. But I'll be interested to see what they do with the TV show and how they dance around the core canon and still make it relevant. So if anybody of you have Paramount Network, just let me know, because I'd like to talk to you. Because I'm not gonna subscribe to another TV service.
That was supposed to be on Showtime and part of the Xbox TV thing when this originally was announced.
Yes, back in 2014.
And then I know when they said it wasn't going to be part of the Xbox TV program, but it was still going to be available to Xbox users in some form. But then we never heard anything since. I assume that's gone, but I would hope Microsoft or 343 would find a way to make this accessible to Game Pass users or something. Some kind of deal in Game Pass Ultimate or something. Because, I mean, I don't really have a need for it, but...
Well, I mean, I would buy a DVD.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But I don't want to subscribe to another thing. I have so many subscriptions right now. I mean, that's not their fault. That's my fault. But
well, once they got the show wars going between all the different services, I pretty much unsubscribed from all of them because I didn't want to subscribe to 40 different streaming services just to watch the shows I wanted to watch. At that point, it's worse than cable TV.
And to your point, Spence, there's definitely lots of back-end contract things happening, and this project has changed hands so many times. So many times. It's just going to be one of those... I mean, it's landed on a home, and we have trailers, and we know that it's coming out, so at least there's that.
Although I have to admit, I like the TV commercial that they've put out for it.
I like the visual quality.
No, I'm not talking about the trailer for the show. I'm talking about the commercial for Paramount Network announcing that Halo is coming.
Oh.
They have some of the characters from the different shows that are on the network all chanting the Halo tune. The Halo theme.
Oh. I don't know if I've seen this before.
Including Beavis and Butthead.
I don't know if I've seen this before.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And then
I'm going to have to go find that.
I think the guy, I think it's Super Troopers is what the show's from. Some other character asked, what are they doing? And this guy from Super Troopers, they're singing the theme from Halo. And then at the very end, you see Master Chief just kind of look over and shake his head and walk away. It's
all right.
Hilarious.
I'm going to go find this while we're doing the podcast, see if I can.
But back to the trailer.
Yeah.
I like it. It's piqued my interest. there are a lot of interesting things in it. I know a lot of people watched it, and when when Chief picks up the chain gun and starts unloading, it's like, yep, that's Halo.
Yeah, they definitely hit a lot of Halo vibes for me too.
Although Chief twirling the BR was kind of, huh?
Added flair.
Yeah.
That just didn't seem really Chief-like, you know?
I'm sure there'll be some cool little scene that it makes sense.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. I don't think it'll make sense, but anyway.
Yeah. It's interesting how many different pieces are kind of being pulled together. And like it has the it has High Charity in it, it has Reach in it, it has what's the place called where it's the asteroids all connected together?
The Rubble?
The Rubble. It has the Rubble in it. Like there's lots of different key points that it pulls in from.
Well, some people think that the desert planet that they show is Madrigal, which is the planet that got glassed and they evacuated to the Rubble. Theory. But who knows? I
mean, we will find out March 24th.
Find out what the Silver Timeline has in store for us this March.
Yep, March 24th. That's when it comes out. And thank you, Pens, for the link, because I couldn't find it.
Oh, and they teased a new book today. Or the other day. Did you see that?
A new one?
Mm-hmm. Troy Denning book.
Troy Denning?
Troy Denning, yes. Thank you. I don't know why I kept trying to say Denham. But it has our favorite Spartan 5 of Osiris in there. Fail.
Where was this announced? I missed this.
The cannon fodder.
I skimmed over the cannon fodder real quick.
I had to read it 3 times to make sure I understood what he was saying. Yeah, it's right there at the top of the article.
It talks about Kelly Gay's Rubicon Protocol.
Read that whole paragraph.
Project. Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then they actually posted an excerpt out of the book.
Halo Outcasts. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So that ought to be interesting.
Behind. I do not have that on my bingo card. Okay. I totally missed that. Anyways, any other thoughts on the TV series trailer? I like the visual style. I'm kind of questioning the story.
Well, I'm not gonna.
The hodgepodge of clips they decided to pull together for the trailer has me scratching my head a little bit.
I feel like Halo's one of those stories you can't really give away too much, and so your trailer's kind of got to be a sizzle to not spoil main story points. And I mean, I don't know. I'm curious how they're gonna balance the action and the narrative, and what kind of storytelling they're gonna choose to go with. I think visually you're on point. I think it looks great.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be
minus the Cortana thing. Could use a little little touch up. A little touch up.
Cortana, I'm not like upset about it. It's just one of those like you change something so iconic to the series that I'm just like, interesting choice, but hey, do what you gotta do. I'm not gonna lose any sleep over it.
Well, to GT's point, is more just the hologram effect. Just didn't quite sell it for me. I'm okay with the person change because they're doing that for a lot of the major characters anyways in the series, and I'm totally fine with that. I mean, you're going to have that with the TV show, and I mean, we have at least Jen Taylor's voice for Cortana, but I'm okay with the visual change. Just the hologram effect was off.
Like I said, I was just expecting a little bit more hologram instead of solid.
Oh, I agree.
That's all that caught me off guard. I don't have any problems with it. I just what I was expecting.
I mean, the Lord Hood, the Halsey, Master Chief, like all the other character changes. I mean, it's a TV show. You're not going to have the exact same people doing the TV show that are doing the voices for the video game. That's just not going to happen.
Although it would have been really cool if they could have got the voice actor for Lord Hood. He would fit that role really well.
True. And then Keith David for the Arbiter.
Yeah. Well, we don't know those Arbiters in it, but anyway.
There are clips of the Arbiter in it.
It's not
The
the
TV
Arbiter.
trailer?
Nope. That's not the Arbiter. That's just an elite with a Arbiter-esque armor.
It still could be the Arbiter.
It's not the Arbiter.
How do you know for sure?
It's not the Arbiter. Because there's two other elites wearing the exact same armor.
Oh, I just thought it was the same elite. I didn't see
No.
multiple elites with the same armor in the same shot.
Yeah. The when you see Chief fighting the two elites, they're wearing the exact same armor.
I thought they were different. They looked different.
That's just because you're seeing a different part of it.
Okay. Only watched the trailer once, so I'll take your word for it. You've probably watched it.
I mean, it's not. I'm not saying that the Arbiter can't be in it, but they didn't show the Arbiter yet.
Gotcha. Okay. Any other comments on the trailer, guys?
Nah.
Nope.
No. Okay. Cannon fodder. I guess GT. There's a new book. Since clearly you read it a lot more thoroughly than I did. So what do we got in the cannon fodder for?
I really just skimmed over it. I didn't. That was just one of the facts that I managed to come across.
Lots of things about ships and vehicles in here as well.
They did put a lot of ships in there. They got a nice shot of God, what's his name? The pilot.
Forky?
He's always going to be the pilot. I don't care what you call him.
Fernando Esparza.
Esparza. They go a little bit into the Silver Brief, talking about their goals for the Halo TV series. They have posted pictures of several ships, trucks, different types of trucks that are in the Halo universe, and a forklift.
And Forky. We got Forky.
They posted some concept art for Infinite, and also I think it's Spartan Strike. They posted some concept art for it.
Yeah, they're talking about how they use leaning on the legacy pillar and the art direction for the game.
Then they talk about coming up with the idea of Chief losing and who he would lose to. And of course, we all know now he lost Atriox.
So it's a good antagonist to lose to, given the current state of the Halo franchise. So, no, it makes sense. Campaign's good. Campaign opening's good.
Yep.
GT's only gripe is he wished the cutscene was longer.
Well, personal preference.
Right.
I mean, it's, from what I've read of it, it's a good read. There's, they've got a little bit of Q&A in there about why they did things, and they talk
mostly
about
banished ship related.
Yeah, they talk about the banished dreadnought versus the Carve, and that they are two separate ships. But yeah, it's a pretty good article. I liked it.
Cool. And then we also got one for HCS. Haas, you want to dive into that one a little bit?
I didn't read it. So
Okay.
No.
Well, basically, 8 teams pre-qualified, and then throughout the North American qualifiers, 8 more teams have qualified for the North American finals. The pre-qualified teams are Cloud9, United, FaZe Clan, Sentinels, Space Station, G2, Optic, and KC Pioneers. And then the top 8 for qualifying are G1, G2 and G1, Complexity, Xset, Oxygen, Fnatic, Incognito, Push and P, and We Love Anime. Oh my gosh.
You gotta love open team names.
Yep.
Hey, they're all respectable.
It's fun. I love it.
Yep. Miss seeing those open bracket names. You get some clever ones in there every now and then. Pool play will be 4 pools of 4 teams, single round robin, best of 5. Championship bracket will be standard double elim, 16 teams, best of 5 until grand finals, which will be best of 7. There will be 4 streams across Twitch and YouTube. There will be Twitch drops. Nothing to announce just yet, but more details coming soon. Then they've got a lot of Q&A stuff about people who are attending. Things about COVID testing, player handbook, FAQ stuff. The total prize pool is 125 grand, with first place taking 45, second place taking 27.5, and third place taking 14. And this all happens in Anaheim next weekend, starting on Friday, February 11th at 11:30 a.m. Pacific time. Gonna take a trip on down there? Haas?
No, I am allergic to California, so
Allergic, you say?
Yep, that's where we're going with.
Oh, my next time to the West Coast will either be PAX or the finals in October.
Yep,
will be my guess.
I think that would be the finals. Would be probably my return trip for sure.
Yeah, indeed. Well, that's all the news stuff that is going on with Halo. We also, technically no. There's still one more thing. There was a patch for Halo Infinite that came out today that has supposedly fixed Big Team, as everyone's been kind of chomping at the bit for. We haven't experienced it yet ourselves, but looks like, according to Pins and just from what we've seen on Twitter, it's making good progress on fixing some things for Big Team. So hopefully we'll get to hop on this weekend and actually enjoy some Big Team for a change. There's a few other issues that looks like the patch resolved as well. You can check the Halo Infinite release notes over on the Halo support site. Improvements to LAN multiplayer, some fixes for those with AMD Radeon RX 500 series GPUs, and a couple other little resolved issues. So nothing major, but it sounds like a few small key things, and then Big Team working is pretty significant. If it is indeed working, we'll have to see with the rush back of reports of players hearing that it is working again, that the servers will be stable enough to support all of the folks coming back to the game. So I guess we'll see what happens. So, gentlemen, now that we actually have gone through the news and we haven't had a chance to talk about 360 games sunsetting yet, I think it's about time we talk about Halo 3, Halo Reach, and Halo 4 on 360. Where we
and
were
ODST, right?
And what? Sorry?
And ODST, right?
Yeah.
Firefight?
Yep, technically ODST. I mean, you could still firefight, because that's all based on customs. It's not matchmaking. So you can technically still get all the ODST achievements, because it's not matchmaking bound.
Can you still do customs on these games?
Uh-huh.
I thought it was just LAN.
No, I mean, the online still works because it's all peer-to-peer. It's not relying on Xbox servers.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. It's only matchmaking that you can't do. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
All I have to say is I finished all my achievements. I'm happy.
Same. Same here. Yeah, Pins, I need to watch Legends 2 again. So to start off our little recap of Halo on 360, why don't we kind of tell any Halo 360 launch stories that we have? And I feel like GT and Haas, you guys will probably have cooler stories than I do, because I just got into Halo just before Halo 3 and really after Halo 3 launched on the 360 side of things. So why don't we start with,
go ahead,
with
GT.
you guys?
Oh, when
Any
Halo
cool
Reach
launch
launched
stories?
was the last. Yeah, when Halo Reach launched, I attended the midnight launch, and that was the day I decided I'm no longer shopping at GameStop.
Okay. I'm curious.
That's about the most exciting. Well, as people know, with Halo Reach, if you pre-ordered from certain retailers, you got free stuff.
Yep.
Free in-game stuff. Well, GameStop had an issue. And if you didn't have one of the little membership cards, you didn't get your free stuff. So people that just went in and pre-ordered the game and just, like Joe Blow off the street came in and pre-ordered a game, he got screwed out of all the things that he was supposed to get for free.
Wow.
because of their computer glitch.
What came free at GameStop?
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I don't remember what the downloadables were. But yeah. I even told the guy, I mean, that, I'm sitting there in line and the guy in front of me, well, no, sorry, not the guy in front of me, guy behind me, because this is another kind of a jerk move. If you had their pay for membership to their GameStop,
rewards,
whatever it is, the card thingy, yeah, if you were the paid member, you got to get the game first. No, I was the first one in line. I've been standing here for 4.5 hours, but I just pre-ordered the game. Everybody else got to cut in line in front of you.
GameStop did you guys dirty.
That was the GameStops, both the GameStops here, because I had a friend over at the other GameStop, and they did the same thing.
That's quite incredible.
Anyway, so all the Power Up Rewards members, the paid ones, got theirs first. Then the free tier got their stuff, and then everybody else. Which is like, the manager rang me up, and I says, man, this is a dick move.
That's bad.
Because there's like 6 or 8 people behind me in line that were paid members that got to skip the line.
Wow. That's bad.
I'm like, man, if I knew you were going to do this, I would have been here at midnight. I'd have come here. I'd have been here, 10 o'clock in the morning, so I could have got some freaking sleep.
Right?
Wow. That's bad.
Not to mention, I ordered the Legendary Edition, so, that was about 5 pounds worth of stuff that I had to carry across the parking lot at, 12:30 in the morning.
Did they have enough copies at least?
At the mall.
For everybody that was there? Okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They never had, there was never an issue like that.
I haven't seen an issue like that since, like, Halo 2. Like, I've seen it with some other titles, but with, like,
I've never
Halo
seen
releases,
an issue for pre-orders. Now, walking in to buy one, I've seen that. Like, if you just showed up at GameStop and you didn't have a pre-order for it,
yeah.
I've seen them run out of those copies. But the pre-orders, at least every place I've ever placed a pre-order, they set those copies aside to make sure that they can fill the pre-orders on launch day.
Oh, that's good. Well, sorry that experience wasn't so great for you.
But that's nothing. I mean, that's the most memorable thing as far as launch that I have, which granted is not a great memory, but it taught me a valuable lesson that corporations are evil. Anyway, no, I was happy to get my Reach. I was happy to get my Halo 3, even my Halo 2. Halo 2 and Halo 3 I pre-ordered at Best Buy. I didn't do midnight launches because I had a job that required me to be there the next day. So I wasn't going to stay up until midnight and then get up 4 hours later to go to work, or 5 hours later to go to work.
Makes sense.
But, I enjoyed the launch of all the games. It had a lot of fun. Halo 2 initial launch before the patch was interesting.
I wasn't around then, so
I'm like, did they not test this game?
Well, when
Haas
you
knows
start
what I'm
to find
talking
out,
about.
I mean, once you go back into the history books a little bit, it does not sound like that much was tested. So
No, I'm like, they
may have not had time to test anything. Yeah, they're like, everything works. Goodbye.
They got.
I still loved it, but like, yeah, they were like, okay, everything works. We'll tune things later. It was like, it's the first live service game.
They said some groundbreaking things with it.
That's probably the most memorable thing for me was that initial live service for a game. To know that I don't have to schedule with all my friends to just play some multiplayer. That was quite the change, and the advent of the proximity voice back then was a lot of fun, especially since nobody was used to it. So I'd hear people talking, I'd be around the corner listening to the other team make their plan. And I'd be like, I can hear you, right?
Oh, voice communication.
And I'd get, what?
Then the voice filters. The voice mods, yeah.
Yeah, the voice filters. It was a new experience for me with each game, and I enjoyed it tremendously.
Very good. It's nice to have some of those happy memories, and it's very different nowadays. Like, there are people that still do midnight launches, and there's some cool things around some of them, but it's just not quite the same. That like late 2000s, early 2010s era of game launches has come and gone.
Well, I remember watching the craziness on launch night for Halo 2. I mean, they had a live feed from New York.
Yes, they did, which is insane.
And I don't know how many hundreds. I couldn't even give you a number of how many people were there. It was just unreal, the amount of people waiting to pick up
Bill
the game.
Gates giving out the first copy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he liked to do that. Yeah, my Halo 3 experience was the exact opposite. That Halo 2 and Halo 3's midnight launches were like life-defining moments for me. Not like they were just those moments you'll never forget. So Halo 2, me and my buddy pulled into the parking lot, got out of the car, and two people walked in and walked up, and so we were number 3 and 4 in the line instead of 1 and 2. We skipped 5th and 6th period to get there, and we just missed it. So like when Halo 3 was announced, I just graduated. I was like, okay, I got that week off of work. I'm going to be the first person in line at all costs. So what I did, I asked my mom to borrow her 1997 Chevy Astro van with tinted windows. I was like, Mom, I'm borrowing the van and I'm going to camp out at GameStop for 48 hours. And we camped out at GameStop. Me and my buddy, we put our 2 chairs there. We got it cleared with the manager, who was a friend. He even dated my sister for a moment in time, which was weird. But like,
okay.
Yeah. But we made sure we were right there, first in line. People brought us like hot cocoa. McDonald's was right across the street. So, I ate like an 18-year-old and didn't regret anything. We had the new local news station came out, and we were first in line. I had the legendary edition. I was excited as hell to have that helmet that doesn't fit anything. And, it was just exciting. That was like a really exciting time. There were hundreds of people. They had the pre-order line and then the non-pre-order line. And thankfully, my GameStop, they were like, if you pre-ordered, you get to go first. If you didn't,
makes sense.
You gotta wait.
Yeah.
Like, which, like, I was.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I was all on board with that. So that was pretty cool. And we got to just hang out, get our game, book it home, and I jumped right into that campaign, as was always my tradition. Get 3 friends, 4 friends. I had my Halo 2 clan still going at the time, thinking there was going to be clans in future Halo installments, and there still hasn't been. But, we jumped in that campaign and we just ran it, and we had a blast, all of us, just for that entire week, just grinding multiplayer, getting as high a level. I think by the end of that first week, I was level 40 in Team Slayer. Like, we played a lot, and that was a really good time. Like, that was the last, well, besides ODST and Reach, I guess, that was like the last like big Halo moment for me. And I obviously I still played, but it definitely changed, and that's okay. But that was like the last moment for me and all the guys on that level, where I had a week, nobody could bother me. It was me, Halo, my friends, more energy drinks than my body probably ever wants to admit that I pumped into it, more junk food. Like, I knew my way to the bathroom, and I knew my way to my car, fast food, and right back. Like, that was it. And I know I'll never get that level of it again, but that was just truly fun times for me.
Yeah, you're now the age that I was when Halo launched.
Thanks, Gramps.
Cool 20.
Shut up, youngin'. Anyway, I have a question. This is a very serious question for Haas. Now, I've met Haas in person. I want to know how the hell he got into an Astro van.
A 97 Chevy Astro?
Yeah.
Those are the big boys.
No, the Astro van's Astro van's the little van.
Look, I'm sending you a link. We call it the Blue Monarch, man. Like, that thing is still trucking from my youth.
Your parents still have it?
And I love it. They still have it. It blows me away. And yeah, it's yeah, I mean, ours is blue, but
this is gonna be good.
Copy image address. There
yeah,
we go.
Pin's saying those are huge too.
This is a big van. Oh,
we had a
Skype.
Windstar.
Why do I keep going?
Van.
All right, here you.
Yeah.
Wait, the Ford Windstar? We had one of those, and then our family kept getting older and
on
bigger.
road trips, we pull out the middle seat, and the three of us would sit on the very back bench.
Like I said, how the hell did you get into that van?
That's a big van, dude.
No, that is not a big van.
That's a big van. That's a good size van.
It's not like a Ford Ecoline 350.
Van. That is a compact van.
No.
That thing is built on the same chassis as an S10 pickup.
When you compare it to like a Dodge Caravan at that time, this thing is a monster. That thing, that's a beast.
It looks like a good size.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
We got the one tire fire in that bad boy. We do a brake stand. Like, man, that thing, I put that thing through so much abuse. I got in my first accident in that thing, and
it's still running to this day.
I mean, it's still running to this day. Not well. Like, the windows don't work, AC's broken, but that thing is still trucking.
I did remember something about the launch of Halo 3. So for Halo 3, once they announced the Halo 3 was coming, I started saving my pennies. I bought the Legendary Edition game. I bought the console. I bought the little spanker controller holder. I still have it somewhere.
Mine's over there somewhere.
But anyway, I bought the little Halo 3 ear thingy or mic, which I still have somewhere. The little foamy thing's gone, but it just kind of turned up. Anyway, I bought a brand new 56-inch DLP rear projection screen TV. Yeah, that. Actually, those headsets were really good.
They worked. For being wireless headsets?
I mean, for what they are, they worked really well. Yeah. They worked really good.
Sorry for our audio only listeners.
I bought look up Halo
360
3
wireless headset.
360 wireless headset. Anyway, I bought new TV, new game console, got it all hooked up, was watching Halo 3 trailers and vidocs on the 360, loving life.
Man.
Had the sound cranked.
So good.
Had the sound cranked, and all of a sudden my stereo receiver goes and no sound.
Man, those vidocs.
Those vidocs were some of the best.
Those Bungie vidocs and their live action trailers from that 3 to Reach or ODST era.
They knew how to put together an ad campaign.
Whoever they hired to do that stuff, man, I watched those trailers, even though they had nothing to do with the gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
I was watching them all the time. All the time.
But yeah, I was enjoying all those vidocs and everything and all my high-def glory and my stereo receiver fries.
Oh, no.
Ooh.
A week before the game launches.
No.
Yes.
Oh, man. Oof.
So
what did you do?
The launch of Halo 3 was really expensive for me because I had the $400 console, the $400 Legendary Edition, the $2,000 television.
Oh my gosh.
and then I had to spend another $600 on a new receiver.
Jeez. My gosh.
Yeah, it was expensive.
That's a pretty penny.
Yeah. Halo 3 was expensive. But I
was.
loved every minute. Of course, that was way before I knew about input latency or latency on the televisions. So yeah.
Oops.
Let's put it this way. I still have the TV. I still use it. It works great for a TV. But when I go downstairs to play, if I decide to play something on that TV, it's almost unplayable.
I feel like, a lot of the old composite TVs, like inputs, you didn't have to worry about. And then once once HDMI came out, that was
part of the problem is
story.
this is a projection TV.
Oh.
So
one of those big ones, yeah.
In Halo, in that era, you had the DLP rear projection TVs, and then the next step up was plasma. And at that time, plasmas were like $10,000.
Stupid expensive.
Yeah. Not to mention they suffered from severe burn-in. But anyway.
Yeah.
So I found this deal on this TV, and I mean, it works out great. I've put 2 bulbs in it, and I've had it since Halo 3.
Does that one have like the individual color bulbs, or was it just one bulb?
No, it's just one bulb.
Okay.
One very expensive bulb.
One of those DLPs that had like the 3 different colored bulbs in it. Those things are heavy and they're huge.
It's not really that heavy. It's just really awkward. I mean, one person can kind of scoot it around, but if you need to actually take it somewhere, you need an extra set of hands, or it's gonna fall over. Because all the weights at the you got this bump that sticks out the back, and all the weights are like on one hand. You just
yeah, exactly.
Great TV though. It still works great. It still looks great. Just about every. Let's see, Halo 3 is that'd be
2007.
Yeah, 17.
15 years almost.
Yeah, 15 years, and I'm on my
this September
second bulb. No,
that's not bad.
Third bulb. So every 5 years or so, I put a bulb in it. Granted, the bulbs are not exactly cheap, but it's still cheaper to buy a new TV. Well, slightly.
True. Depends on what.
To get one of the same caliber. Let's put it that way.
Gotcha. I mean, I just bought a 50-inch 4K TV for $200, so
yeah,
take your pick. Cool. Sorry, go ahead.
I just can't get rid of it until it breaks. It works. It looks good.
It works. Yep. My, I guess, most memorable 360 launch probably would have been Halo 4's, because actually 343 back then had some of the community influencers, like they actually sent out little press packages and they asked some community members to get footage from your local GameStop or Best Buy or wherever you're getting something, and gave you stuff to hand out to people. So I was handing things out to folks, recording their thoughts on what they're looking forward to in Halo, what they like about Halo, and we got to send all our footage in. And I don't know if 343 ever did anything with all that footage or whatnot, but it was a cool little experience for my local GameStop, which was down in Greenbelt, Maryland at the time. That was, I guess, technically, other than MCC, because that was the whole not Halo Fest in Hollywood. Other than that, the Halo 4 was my last midnight launch that I did. I did attend the one when I was in college for Halo 3 ODST and Halo Reach, but it wasn't anything super special. It basically showed up, I think, it was either the ODST launch or the Halo 3 launch. There were a couple folks who brought their Xboxes and had game cases, like the Games PG cases, and they were playing Halo while we were waiting in line. But nothing super special for that. So I think the Halo 4 one's probably, for me, the most memorable Halo 360 launch. And then my first buy for 360 was actually for Halo 3. I took my Christmas money that I got for 2007 basically for Christmas and my birthday, more or less, I went out and bought my first Xbox 360 and got Halo 3 with it. So that was
Halo.
my first foray into Xbox. Was on Halo 3.
I really miss that they didn't do a Legendary Edition
For
Infinite.
yeah.
I mean, I get it with supply and demand and how hard it was just to get the freaking Xbox to begin with. But man,
Well, there was the statue that was kind of shoehorned in as the legendary collectible thing.
Yeah, it just wasn't
that's
the
not the
official.
same.
No, it's not.
It's not the same as the previous Legendary Editions, and I hope that they get back to that.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they do like a Legendary Edition DLC for Infinite, that would be cool.
I hope they bring back some like popular maps into Halo Infinite. Like, I get the whole idea of wanting to do some new maps, but I mean, every game has had some remake of another map, and it's always been, well, for the most part, it's usually been well received. Truth on Halo 5 was not as well received, but for the most part, remakes are well received within Halo multiplayer.
Me personally, I would prefer to see, like Forgers do the remakes. I really want to see new stuff from the devs. And don't get me wrong, the remakes are fun and everything, but I prefer to see new stuff.
Well, I think the remakes are just nice to see how it kind of looks with the new paint job, more or less, and with the new toys that the engine updates provide. It's kind of a almost a reimagining of sorts. Like if there was a significant increase to functionality, kind of like how the step up from Blood Gulch to Coagulation was. I mean, that's a pretty significant change. It still is the same layout, but you have now a 3 layers for the bases. You have a little bit more things to work with in the middle of the maps and the vehicles. So,
actually, I prefer Blood Gulch over Coagulation.
Oh man, not me. I love Blood Gulch, but man, Coagulation was such a beautiful tuning of that map. And I know a lot of people love Valhalla. Valhalla wasn't my cup of tea, but maybe it's because I loved the desert kind of vibe that Blood Gulch and Coagulation had, but
Coagulation was probably one of the favorites.
I mean, they dug out the basement and you had banshees coming out of it. Little lifts under there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry.
I would agree.
It's okay. It's okay. Hey, we're not all the same.
I'm a purist.
Blood Gulch will forever be my favorite land map of all time. Nothing will ever beat CTF on Blood Gulch.
3-4 hour campaigns of CTF on Blood Gulch and Coagulation.
Yep, exactly. Like the Mountain Dew and the chips were flowing, and you had Blood Gulch, no time limit, 3 caps to win. Man,
those games could go on forever.
Yep. They sure could.
I miss those days. I want to have a LAN party at some point. Freaking COVID. I want to get people over and have a LAN party at some point.
Someday. We'll be there.
Someday.
I'll wave to you from here.
Just wait for Podtacular's 20th anniversary or whatever we decide to do for that, and we'll have a LAN party again.
Gosh, man, that's closer.
That's 3.5 years away.
Yeah, now I just need to figure out a way to talk you into having it here in Kansas. That way I don't have to go anywhere.
Maybe somewhere central for sure, but...
Well, Rooster Teeth ain't really doing much, so I don't think RTX would really be something.
No. It'd probably be somewhere neutral and maybe get some kind of... Is your wheel spinning back there?
Yeah, it was.
Are you playing something right now?
Did you just launch a game or what?
No, when I'm rebooting my gaming PC, and that's what happens.
Oh.
Interesting.
Gotcha. Must be a force feedback wheel, huh?
It sure is.
Reset.
That is exactly what happens.
I just noticed I'm like, what is going on back there? So aside from launch, I guess the next obvious question would be most memorable part of, I guess, the 360 era of Halo. It's probably a tough question to answer because there's lots of things that happened on 360 with Halo.
Mine is pretty easy. It's just the MLG environment at that time in game battles, like watching it online, seeing T squared on Dr. Pepper bottles, and just I was never a Dr. Pepper drinker, and then that happens, and I'm like, I'm a Dr. Pepper drinker. And then, you know, MLG was on Hot Pockets, you know, just it had boomed so much, and like, you know, I'd been some way involved in the MLG scene since CE, and so seeing all of that kind of like blowing up at that point was just really, really special. You know, talking to my friends every tournament, every roster move. Oh my God, neighbor just said that straight ripping sucks, even though he just won a tourney with them and joined final boss, and that was like earth shattering. Like,
I remember that.
That
and
was
I wasn't even following MLG at the time.
Yeah, that was just that was a time. Soldier Boy being on a bus with Ace and Neighbor. Like, it was just, Halo had just reached this point in pop culture at that point, especially in the competitive scene, that you really couldn't top it. Like, I still go back and watch MLG tournaments from the Halo 3 era, and even the corny as hell Dr. Pepper Ultimate Game House or whatever that they did.
The Ultimate Game House.
I still watch that. It's god awful. Oh my gosh. And I'm really happy to see where all those people are now. Like, it is so corny, but it was just so awesome to watch. I remember signing up to try and win that, all that kind of stuff. And like, I've been kind of like condensing, getting stuff ready to sell, move, whatever, and I just found my MLG controller that they had launched at that time. And so yeah, that my Halo memories and like what I look back the most fondly is just the whole MLG competitive environment, what I was involved with, me and my friends grinding game battles until 2 or 3 in the morning. You know, that was just insanity at that point in time, and those are special days.
MLG or competitive Halo, I don't think will ever be the same like it was in Halo 3.
It was just so free, and it was like, you know, it hadn't matured. Esports as a whole hadn't matured at that time, so you could have some of that, all
saucy and edgy, and
you know, I mean, I don't condone it, especially now. You know, I'm older, more mature, but the booth babes and like, it was just something. It was the Wild West back then, and it was fun to be part of that environment at that time.
Yeah, it's definitely changed from where it was. And that could be said throughout competitive gaming, no matter what game. Well, for the most part. For me, honestly, Halo 3 was, once I got into matchmaking, was really depressing for me. So most of my memories for like Halo 3 are campaign related or customs. The most memorable things of, you know, the 360 era are really, honestly, the interactions between Chief and Cortana. And really the big ones, you know, like when you're first introduced to Cortana on the Pillar of Autumn. In Halo 2, where Chief has to leave Cortana behind. In Halo 3, where Chief rescues Cortana. Halo 4, when Cortana wakes Chief. And then again at the end of the game, when Chief loses Cortana. You know, just those are the most memorable parts of the 360 era games that I have when it comes to Halo. Don't get me wrong, I love customs. I remember when somebody figured out race and a way to actually make it where you could score.
Bungie 500 on Foundry.
Yeah. Actually, the first one I played was on Sandtrap. But anyway.
Oh, okay.
But once the race game type was actually kind of nailed down by the community, I went through and I downloaded every single race map I could come up with. I literally had, for Halo 3, I had 2 memory cards. I had memory cards for regular, minigame stuff. And then I had one entire memory card that was just full of race maps.
Wow.
Because that's how much
memory
stuff I
cards.
downloaded.
And of course, Xbox Series X brings memory cards back.
Yeah. That was back when you could actually go to a website and click on a button and say, download to my Xbox. Or you could click a link in a YouTube video to take you to the webpage that says, download to my Xbox.
Do I have GT talking about file share on my bingo card? Actually,
I never said file share.
But you're talking about file share.
No, I'm talking about I'm talking about memory cards and going to a website. Anyway, there is honestly, now you had to be careful with this because this could get you in trouble really quick. The spawn point art.
Oh,
there were some people, all of them, whether it was appropriate or not, these people were talented. They literally made art with the spawn points in Forge. And I mean really good art.
There was some incredible art that came out of Halo 3 Forge.
This was even this actually showed up before people figured out how to phase things and how to do all these little tricks that they did in Halo 3, which I have no idea how they figured this out. By playing with spawn timers on stuff. And then being able to go back and remember to change all the spawn timers back so it all spawns in at the same time. Anyway.
And all of the, all the little quirks with, because I remember that was something that was heavily used with Griffball, was spawning it, seeing where it ended up, then moving it again, and then people spent hours just to get the pixel perfect alignment for things.
Yeah. And I tried to do that. I actually spent 2 or 3 weeks working on a race map, and I never did finish it because it's infuriating how touchy it is. I mean, the way you fuse things together is you spawned an item, you changed its spawn timer to spawn
so much time afterwards.
30 seconds in, after a game start. And then you had to remember or mark where that piece was, move the new piece to where it overlapped, and then you had to save and quit.
Yep.
And then you'd reload it and hope it didn't move.
Yep. And then you had to make sure that once it did load in, you have to go remember to reduce the timer back down and then restart the round and make sure that the geometry doesn't freak out and just shoot everything everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I don't remember
tricky.
how many times I redid like the first 10 feet of the track.
Yeah.
But then the advent of Halo Reach's Forge. Now, granted, the gray color palette, they could have done something better there.
It was powerful, but that gray palette was rough.
Yeah, they did make a lot of advances into that. And they made it much better to forge with.
They really did. And all the custom game options and even like what was it? Insane was kind of the offshoot game mode that you just did whatever you wanted to do with it.
Yeah, Reach, Pidge just mentioned Pete the Duck and Green Skull. That's when I found those two.
Despite the grayness, Reach had some of the best forage capabilities. And also customization to wrap it back into the whole customization ongoing thing. But yeah, it was incredible how many, Halo 3 definitely birthed a lot of creative like really got their creative juices going, and then Bungie really just delivered with giving community more tools to work with in Halo Reach. And like that was at a peak of map making was Reach. And screenshots, I think Halo 3 was probably the pinnacle of that. There was a fair amount still in Reach, but the color in Halo 3's screenshots and all the different effects that you could add there as well, it like there were so many screenshots for Halo 3. Oh
Well,
yeah, there was the Pro Legacy mission, yep.
Yeah, the big thing in, I guess that was Halo 4, when people really got invested in like different screenshots with, you know, their actual Spartan character changing out the armature and stuff. So
yeah,
you know, it's everything is kind of evolved in the game, and it's just interesting to see where we've wound up.
Yeah,
it's interesting how the gaming industry has changed through the history of Halo, and you can see that in the games.
it's really crazy. Just like you get, for lack of a better analogy, sedimentary layers of the gaming industry with each different iteration of at least a Halo game, with it being kind of spaced 3 years apart. And it feels so weird to have like Infinite come out 6 years after Halo 5.
Yeah, it was very off cadence.
Yeah. I mean, for the most part, I have to admit, I think it was worth it.
Oh, sure.
It
just feels like a lifetime ago.
It's what is this Halo 5 you speak of? Oh. I think my granddad played that. Anyway, there is just such a history, and I think all the games do a decent job of following that history. Don't get me wrong, there's changes along the way, but the game had to change with the people that were playing it. And as the game aged, the people playing it changed. It's like, yeah. Halos 1 through 3, yeah, I enjoyed them. Halo 1 and Halo 2, I really enjoyed the multiplayer. Halo 3, not so much. Halo 4, I enjoyed the multiplayer. Halo Reach, I enjoyed the multiplayer. Halo 5 is my favorite multiplayer of all of them so far. Infinite to be announced. And that's just because I'm still getting used to it, and it still has some issues. So, as that develops, it might be better.
And it's going to take time for Infinite to really get its feet under it. I mean, we've talked about it.
It has to mature a little bit.
Yeah. It's a topic we'll probably keep bringing up on the podcast, but it has a rough launch with matchmaking and multiplayer. I think it'll probably have something similar with MCC, where it's going to take some time to get to a place where it's going to stable out and have enough content for people to have a good time in enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
And it sucks because we're like, us as Halo fans, like we want to keep playing, but if there's not content to have our friends keep coming back to play it, then it's a struggle for us to keep going with it as well. It's going to take time, which sucks, but I'm hopeful that it will not take nearly as long as MCC did to really get fleshed out and really have a good catalog of maps and modes to play with, and all the options with Forge and custom games. Theater hopefully has some big improvements coming, because, I mean, there still hasn't been, I think, in the community's eyes, the perfect 3-4-3 game, where I feel like for Bungie, that game was pretty well wrapped up in Halo 3.
Yeah.
Like Halo 3 hit all those points for the vast majority of players.
I just, honestly, of the Bungie era games, my favorite's Halo 2.
I agree.
In my opinion, Halo 3's multiplayer was terrible. I'm not saying that they had bad maps. I just did not like the physical mechanics of Halo 3 multiplayer. There was just so much of it that it was broken to me, and I really did not enjoy it. I mean, after playing it for a couple of weeks, I went back and started playing Halo 2 again. Literally. I
believe it.
I probably have at least twice the amount of time in Halo 2's multiplayer as I do in Halo 3's. So to say that Bungie has released all these perfect games, in my opinion, no. Halo 2 was broken when it first launched. I mean, bad broken.
Mm-hmm.
People don't remember that. People don't acknowledge it existed. I was there when Halo 2's multiplayer launched. It was frickin' broken. Worse than just about any 343 game. Now, 343, they've had, their games have had their problems, which is fine, but they've addressed them. MCC
well, I'm not saying they're perfect, but
yeah, MCC is its own special hell. I mean, that is. Let's just kind of put that one over here, and just it doesn't apply. That was a project that no game studio should ever attempted. Honestly, I don't care who you talk to. That particular monstrosity that they came up with, that's a 10-year development game. That's not a 3-year development game. I mean, before you even launch it the first time. Halo 4 was a good game. I liked the multiplayer. The whole kill streak thing I wasn't a fan of. But at the time, that's what was popular.
Yeah, they took some risk. And, I don't think they landed on every single one. But, there's still things from Halo 4 that people are crying for 343 to bring back in terms of modes. I still think that's the second best big team battle in the franchise's history. And, Ricochet was a really fun game mode that I just have been sad never to see come back. But overall, I think the multiplayer definitely, they tried to copy COD in the wrong areas and not the right ones on that one.
Yeah.
I understand what they were going for. They just kind of missed the marks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For me, Halo 3 had the customs, theater, the art. Not so much matchmaking for me because the whole aiming mechanic and physics were definitely a little wonky. But, I mean, watching it competitively was also incredible. The campaign was solid. Y'all have a lot of the memes from the Halo 3 campaign in there. But overall, the ending was good. Halo Reach had the customization system, Forge, so many customs. Halo thrived with customs in Reach before Halo 5's customs. And then Halo 4, to Haas's point, the big team and all the different game modes that Halo 4 brought, and just the visual aesthetic and the colors to Halo 4 was unlike anything. Halo 3 had those nice crisp edges, but Halo 4 you had all the vibrant color and intricacies of what they could cram out of the Halo engine on an Xbox 360 back in those days. It was a visually impressive game.
Is still amazing.
It's a visually impressive game. And then I gave the Halo campaign crap back in the day, but kind of looking back on it now, the campaign was really good too. The story that you had with Master Chief and Cortana and the struggle
I loved
there.
Halo 4's story. I loved Halo 4's story.
I just wish it didn't rely so much on the external lore, but I do think it is one of the best campaigns.
And I feel the same way. It needed to be a little bit more independent of the books. Well, it actually needed to be a lot more independent of the books, but it was still a fun campaign. It got you invested in the story, regardless if he had the external fiction or not. And I know a few people, it actually got them to read the external fiction to understand more about
what the heck was going on. Yeah. It's one of those games for me that I didn't fully appreciate it at first because of the whole reliance on the external fiction, but I I cried on that last cutscene when
Mhm.
Cortana sacrificed herself.
Yeah.
Like that was an emotional moment in the franchise's history. And it wasn't until Halo Infinite, with a lot of the stuff going on with, I mean, at this point it's not spoiler anymore, but Cortana sacrificing herself and everything that she had to do in order to like try to save Chief from the Banished and the threat looming on Zeta Halo, like those emotional moments, like 343 knows how to put an emotional story together.
Mm-hmm.
Bungie got a
They
lot
can
of the
do-
action down and a lot of the mechanics down and told a really good sci-fi shooter story. And 343
Well,
has really brought in the humanity emotional side of it.
well,
and
Bungie
has
actually
fleshed it
started
out.
that in Halo 3.
A little bit, yeah.
They started that path in Halo 3. A lot more than most people give them credit for.
And I mean, we don't know what would have happened if Bungie kept doing Halo.
Mhm.
But I think a lot of, I mean, yeah, Bungie laid the groundwork, but 343 has taken it and run with it too.
Well,
and
they
it's just-
followed the path that Bungie had laid before them. They just continued that path. Now, is that the same way Bungie would have done it? Probably not. But I still think they would have wound up going the same way, maybe taking a different path. But I just, people, every time I hear people complain about the 343 era games, it's the only thing I hear out of the conversation when I look at what they're saying is, I'm a Bungie fan, nobody else can do Halo. That's not a reason.
Nope. Especially when Bungie wanted to stop doing Halo before
Bungie,
ODST.
yeah, Bungie abandoned Halo.
They like
and
Halo
if
Reach for them
anybody-
was like, we're fulfilling a contract. That's about it.
Yeah. Well, Halo Reach was the big U to Microsoft. Hence all the inconsistencies between the game and the book.
Right. But
I mean,
it was still a pretty decently
don't get me
received
wrong.
game.
Don't get me wrong. It's a good game. It had a good story in it. It just did not match what was already established.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it can't fit into the timeline, but the way they did it, it did make it difficult.
Yeah. And by Bungie, we mean the leadership at Bungie. We don't mean, obviously, like all the developers that poured their time and
Right.
effort into making Halo Reach. Of course, like,
Well,
Yeah,
when we talk about Bungie in that regard, we are talking about the people that make the decisions.
not the people actually making the game, the higher ups that are.
And the
Directing
same
the
with
company
343. We're talking about the people that make the decisions of what goes in the game.
Right.
But like I said, I've enjoyed all of the Halo games that I've played. Does Halo 5 have the greatest campaign ever? No. It's actually kind of a crap campaign. But I still have fun playing the game.
Each game isn't perfect. Each
Mhm.
game will not resonate with everybody. Each game will never do that. But
And so far with Infinite, I'm really having fun playing Infinite. Still
it's
getting
funny
used
because
to it.
like I enjoyed the campaign. Multiplayer is still a little, and the whole battle pass and customization is rocky at best.
Like I said, the games are evolving with the community. And with Halo 5, the community proved that the pay for model works.
And they're just going off
I
industry
would-
trends for.
Yeah, I would
For
love
things.
to see how much money 343 raked in off of rec packs. Will we ever see it? No.
Right.
But in the first year, they were able to double the prize pool of the first
Major Halo event.
major
For Halo
Halo
5.
event just off sales of the rec packs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And we ain't talking chump change either.
No. I think it was what, 1 to 2 million?
$2 million
Where'd they go?
for that first prize pool.
Yeah. That's
When
insane.
they announced the game, they announced that the prize pool was going to be $1 million. And with the sale of rec packs, they were able to double that.
Mm-hmm. And that was what, within the first 3 months?
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was at least a month before they announced that at least a month before the actual competition launched or started.
Mm-hmm.
So, am I happy with the customization in Infinite? No. I do not have a problem with them charging for it. I do have a problem with how limiting it is with what you do purchase.
Yep.
But anyway.
Haas, I know GT and I have been talking a lot. Did we get to you as far as your memorable? I think we did.
Yeah, that we were talking about the MLG and
that's right.
Yeah, he had
era.
that whole MLG, nobody watches that stuff.
Yeah, garbage.
Yeah, that wasn't popular with Halo 3 at all. He's just the
that was
outlier.
That was when I started going to MLG, was with Halo 3. I went to every MLG Dallas event between 2008 and 2012. Every single one.
I have still yet to even watch an entire one.
It's definitely a different, like, I know we'll never get kind of the in-person, and maybe DreamHack is a little bit more akin to how MLG was with all the different games and the different, maybe like seller booths and whatnot, but like, I just don't know if we'll ever get to that point with like Halo events where like it's kind of mixed in with some other top tier esports type things, and you have all the vendors like Hot Pockets, Doritos, Red Bull, and then
honestly, I don't know that we're ever going to get to that point again with anything.
Yeah, now with COVID,
I've had
true.
Honestly, I've heard about a lot of things that I thought I'd like to attend, but then there's that quarantine that you need to do after you're done. I'm like, it's just not worth it. Anyway,
World's changed.
It's life as it is now.
Yeah, it's totally different. Anyways, anything else that you guys want to touch on before we kind of wrap things up? I know like we only really touched on two aspects of Halo on Xbox 360, but I feel like they're probably between
the key ones.
Yeah, like between memorable experiences, and of course, like shout out to all the friends that we made during like Halo 2 and Halo 3 and Halo Reach, going into custom lobbies, and like just half the friends that I think we have were through Halo and Xbox Live, and back in the days where you were on voice chat and the people you matched up with on matchmaking were eventually the friends that you had. You would find those people that you jived with, and then you became friends with them, and you made it a point to play with those people, and those were the people that you end up being friends with.
Yep.
That's how it all started.
All but about 5 of my friends that are on my friends list, I met through Halo.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of them. I met them playing a Halo game. And there's, I still add people to it. Not quite as many as I used to because of how toxic some people make having voice chat open is. It's just...
Sure.
But I do still make friends. It's like, the other night when I was finishing up my Reach achievements, I made 4 more friends.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
all united by Halo.
All I was doing was literally sitting in a lobby with 8 controllers trying to get a stupid map and game type.
Yep.
It's... I wasn't really out looking for anybody, but I found them.
That's the cool part about Halo.
Yeah.
And it's not necessarily Halo specific, but for our case, it is Halo.
I mean, there's people that make friends in other games too. I'm not saying that they don't, but that is one of the things about Xbox Live in general. And I'm sure this goes for PlayStation or the Steam community or Blizzard's community or whoever. It's a way to make friends, it's like the whole RTX thing when I would have never went to that if it wasn't for Halo. Halo brought me to Podtacular. Halo brought me here. Specifically, Halo 4 brought me here.
Hey, GT, you still want to host those lobbies?
I still cannot believe that. I get this random message Hey, GT, you busy tonight? Do you want to host game night? I don't have any customs saved.
I honestly don't even remember all the way that far back.
I do.
I know you do. Feels like
it's
an age ago for me.
And and then it's like a month later you asked me to be on the podcast again. Oh, wait a minute. Had I been on the podcast before you asked me? I know the first one it was me and
don't remember.
Yeah, it's just weird. It's amazing where this game has brought me.
Likewise.
But anyway,
so much of my life has been defined by by doing Halo things.
But yeah, I've enjoyed every minute of it, and I'm glad to have Dust and Haas and Beowulf, Pens. Everybody is friends, even Bobby. Keys maybe not so much, but Bobby, yeah.
Frog Butts, Louie.
It's just it's been a wonderful journey, and I'm sad to see that the Halo 3 or the 360 version's journey has ended when it comes to at least multiplayer, but we continue with Halo Infinite.
Yep.
And MCC.
Hopefully new memories to be made.
Yeah. Well, with that said, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up for the podcast. We finally got around to our 360 podcast. So next week, maybe we'll finally start talking about the campaign, since we still haven't done that yet for Halo Infinite. Stay tuned to social media. Over the next week, we will finally be posting our Halo Infinite Xbox Series X giveaway. Again, that'll be one entry per platform. I will be scheduling the tweets tomorrow and all the social posts, so I don't keep forgetting. You can enter into it one time. So basically, as long as you're following whatever page or account on a specific platform and make a comment, that'll basically guarantee you one entry per se. And we'll be doing Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Discord. So head on over to those. Make sure you're following all those pages and accounts for a chance to win an Xbox Series X Halo Infinite Edition. For those that are listening to the download, you can catch us on Twitch every Thursday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time for the live podcast. We have our Fraggin' Friday hosted by GT at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time on Fridays if you want to come play Halo with us. Voting options for that are in the Discord every Friday. So make sure you hop on in and vote for the game that you want to play between MCC, Halo 5, and Halo Infinite. GT uses that to determine what game we'll be playing. We'll most likely be playing Halo Infinite tomorrow, but for the most part, it is still up to the community to vote. Hopefully Big Team's working if we get Infinite. And then you can also join us on Sundays for Achieving Halo. Last week we did some of the Halo Infinite challenges for the last week of the Cyber Showdown. This week is the third week of the Tenrai event, so I'm not sure if we'll be hopping into that on Sunday, or Bobby and me might be going back to grant some more Halo Wars. We'll make that determination on Sunday. You can also join the community over on Discord. Again, podtacular.com/Discord. That's where most of the community hangs out. If you want to get involved over there, share any funny little Halo moments that you have, Halo memes, cool Halo moments that you want us to talk about during our beginning segments of the podcast. The Discord is the place to drop those and share those with us. Shout out to all our folks who join us and supporting us, either through Twitch subscriptions, our Patreon page, or donating to us via PayPal. We appreciate all the support that we get, no matter how you give it to us. Even just spreading the word of the podcast, sharing it with your friends, family, or other Halo fans is helpful to just get the word out about Podtacular. Shout out to Pens, Confoul, and Prestige for being loyal patrons, as always. I think I hit all the points. I don't have my OneNote up, but I believe I hit pretty much everything for tonight. Gents, any final thoughts?
Nothing from me.
Here's to another 20 years of Halo.
Cheers.
Another 20 years of Halo, and then, gosh, Podtacular 20 years is coming up too.
And then I'll be dead. Oh.
I hope not. Anyways, on that note, have a good night, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Thanks for listening. We'll catch you all next week. Keep on fragging them trucks.